This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. You can text the show on 81215. Follow us on X, Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Morning, boys.
You betcha, sweet Bippy.
Morning.
Morning. And we were just talking about when I did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire the last time.
Yeah.
And Pierre, this was pre you being on the show, was my phone a friend.
I was. This was pre-COVID.
Let's be honest. He would be everyone's top choice, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
You got lucky with that one.
But
Sitting by a switchboard.
yeah, so that was the night where I had to wait for my car back to the station for ages. And the runner said to me, "Sorry, we thought you'd be on a lot longer than that about the show." This was the ultimate sort of slap in the face. She might as well have put, comma, "you idiot," at the end of it. But Pierre was just talking about that. They send a sort of, you know that Tom Jones film, Tom Jones song, Green, Green Grass of Home, when he says there's a guard and there's a sad old padre. Arm in arm, we'll walk till daybreak. You were sent a guard, weren't you, to make sure you didn't cheat?
Yeah, I was sent a sort of knowledge bouncer.
Right.
A guy in a sort of security company branded fleece.
I would have been instantly suspicious. I've seen those mafia films. They're always about to whack you.
That's it,
People
yeah.
that arrive in security guard outfits.
Yeah, he was holding a big bunch of roses pointed at my torso.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he comes in and you have to sort of sit somewhere where they can take a picture of you, like on your couch, say.
Yeah.
And in the picture there cannot be any books or phones or objects within arm's reach.
Who are these Philistines? No books allowed.
Yeah, they took a picture of you next to just the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah,
That might be a
exactly.
bit of a problem. Just the sound of paper order. Yes, I just phone a friend and I
think
trying to find the answer.
I think Joey Essex and what's he called? Joe Swash, is that his name? I think it's in their contract that in their photographs there could be no books of any kind, lest their brand be tainted forever.
Nothing thicker than a magazine. Read the contract.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'd love it if you went round there and go, "I've told you, can you hide those copies, Joey, of the Brothers Karamazov? It's not good for you."
Yeah. I actually think those two Joes, Joe and Joey, are quite smart dudes, but they know what the public want. The public don't want to be
Stupid as a
challenged. They
fox.
want to be consoled.
Yeah, strokes.
Yeah. When they just relax and think, can you pass me Edmund Spencer's The Fairy Queen? Oh, God, just to cleanse me. Having to be an idiot on another panel show just to make people feel better.
You think they say, God, now that that's over, I can get back to my translation of Beowulf that I've been working on.
Maybe not that much, but they're definitely giving the people what makes them feel
who was
better.
the guy on Big Brother who was responsible, Frank? It was a Brian, wasn't it? Not
Brian
Dowling.
Bello.
Very good.
Yeah. See, he was smart as well.
Well, he once said, "Who's Shakespeare?" I don't know who, and I didn't believe him.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I told you I once did a show with him where we had to do a guessing thing, and it was famous English icons, and I got the Haywain, the painting by John Constable, and I was trying to. No, he got it rather. So it was on his card,
Right.
and I was trying to guess what it was, and he was saying beaches, music, girls dancing, and I just couldn't get it. And in it was the Haywain, but he'd read it as Hawaii. That English icon. But no, I think it's played down. That's the secret. I wonder if anyone's ever, if they do that with every phone a friend. I'd love to know if anyone's ever entered into a relationship with the man who comes to watch over you.
Like a sort of Stockholm syndrome thing.
Yeah.
Sitting there
But
saying,
you're going to get talking, and eventually, and also they'll be impressed by whatever you say on the phone, and then they'll say, "Look, what you're doing on Thursday."
I'm going to say what you're doing.
Yeah.
I did think, like, how vetted are the knowledge bouncers?
Oh, how vetted are the vetters?
Yes, that's it. That's what I thought staring at him. I jabbed my finger at him and I said, "And who guards you?"
Yeah, exactly.
Answer me that.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, and while he pondered it, I snuck a little book out from under my couch
Did he
cushion.
just stand over you? Did he just stand
We
over
were sat on opposite ends of a sort of sitting.
What about if
sitting
you
room,
said you're
living
doing
room.
anything? Let's meet up Tuesday night. If you like Chinese food, and he said, "Oh, I'm doing the chase." And you said, "So am I."
God.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We were discussing magic tricks, and
We were talking.
Don't tell people that.
about the-
It's not very good for the brand.
no,
Discussing magic.
no, but you did, Frank, a very good impression of that moment where someone presents whatever it is, the kind of obviously
a
plastic
dove
flowers.
or a car. Or a car.
Yeah, and Emily,
The doves are real.
the
Joe.
doves are real.
Yeah.
We can say that. Emily, you made the noise that people make when that sort of happens. Hey, they said, hey. And I did think, if you're doing actual magic, the last thing you want gasps, don't you?
Yeah,
You don't
you
want
do.
that sort of, hey, there it is.
I think I am.
Awful.
There aren't many things I think I'm the best at, but I'm one of the best magic audiences you could have. I really do go, quite from behind the ear. I get so excited by certainly close-up magic,
Do
particularly.
you? Do you like magic, Frank?
Oh yeah, I like watching
I
it.
didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you think I'm wearing a brocade waistcoat? No, not really. Don't worry, I'm not. Don't switch off. Yes. Hey, listen, speaking of magic, sort of ish, I visited my sister-in-law, etc., and her family at a posh hotel this week that they were staying at. Lovely it was, and we went for dinner there. And my son said, "Can I bring the projector I bought from Lidl?" I said, "Oh, sure." So,
How large was the projector?
it's from Lidl.
I didn't know Lidl
So-
did project.
Sorry, that doesn't answer my question.
Well, it's a Lidl projector. So anyway,
God.
so yes, you didn't know Lidl did projectors.
No,
Well-
did Tesco do sort of light displays or something? This is bizarre to me.
I think Lidl do things I was in
Couldn't dream
Lidl.
of.
Is it online, Lidl?
No, it's
Oh.
well, it might be, but it exists as a shop.
I've never been in
It's
one.
also in our realm.
Okay.
They have a
physical
sort of what looks like a giant pick and mix section, but in one section there'll be like Wellington boots,
Yeah.
and then in another one like gilet, canvas gilet.
Yeah.
And there was one, and it had about 5 axes in it. Yeah, big, and I mean big, the sort of axes you could take a building down with.
What do
Yeah.
you display an axe next to? It's a hard choice, isn't
I
it?
can't remember what was in the next
Yeah,
section.
you've got to be careful.
Yeah, I think it was those milk teeth. And then cola bottles in the one next to them.
Of course, you buy them by weight, so if you do get an axe, it will be a...
Yeah. You're walking around with an axe in one of those little pink stripy bags.
offering it round. Axe? No, thanks, no.
Anyway,
Stick in my teeth.
so we got to the place, and it's a lovely hotel. I won't name it because I can't remember what it's called. And
You had
also,
to pay.
so did I have to pay?
Yeah. I
Oh,
said you won't name it because we have to pay.
No. Anyway, so we got these little. It's only like a small projector. It's
Yeah.
not like the owner of the guy who runs the theme park in Scooby-Doo. It's not that level. Not that level of projection equipment.
No.
Where he can make people actually like carry things that he's projecting.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that. So we were sitting having the posh meal, and Buzz just went and plugged the projector in the socket and just started projecting images on the ceiling.
What were the images?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you after this. I'll just give you one little brief moment in time. At one point, there was a Frenchman came over to talk to us about wine, and there was like an image of Santa Claus just spinning round above his head on the ceiling.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, yes. So there was what you asked before what the slides were for the oldie projector. Sorry, Lidl projector. Oh my goodness, what a terrible faux pas!
You can't get those mixed up.
Your name's going to be
That's like the bit in Hamlet where the king mixes up the names of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and his wife has to correct him. That's what it reminded me of. Anyway, Aldi and Lidl. They should have called them Aldi and Lidl in there.
Yeah.
Tom's got
Anyway.
play.
Be a good double act.
So there's 3 sets of slides come with the Lidl projector, and then the Lidl projector into 2 slides for each theme, and the themes are Halloween, which obviously at the moment is opposite. You can probably guess what will be on those ones.
Spooky pumpkin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pumpkin, bats.
Ghosts in wearing Reeboks.
Well, ghosts, the ghosts are very, the bald ghost under chiffon. That kind of
Oh, I
ghost.
don't like those ones.
No?
No.
No, these are...
I like a sheep with the black eyes. Don't
Yeah,
you?
well, it's based that theme, but it's good. Good Halloween.
Okay.
And then Christmas, Father Christmas, snowflakes, that kind of thing.
Drunk wearing red.
No, well, then there's a New Year set, and Buzz put the first ones on. And what would you anticipate would be on the New Year slide?
I'm surprised they did a New Year one. The very blandest of the holidays.
Yes.
Well, I would say some sort of, it's not very child appropriate, but a popping champagne cork.
Yes, well, exactly.
Some glasses that are made to look like a year.
Yeah, no, not that good.
Not the glasses.
This is Lidl, a place that they don't even use all the vowels. So they drink, basically. And then there's a second one for each one. And then the second New Year one, more drink. They just couldn't think of a New Year thing other than drunkenness.
A big calendar.
No calendar. Big colander might have been better.
A big colander that you can get from the middle
Was
aisle.
it just the...
Massive industrial colander.
Green colander. Like the sort of thing you could do if you had a small troop. You could do all the potatoes in that. Oh, man.
Was it just
God, there were some big shoes. Big shoes in the middle aisle.
Big shoes to fill.
The Lidl aisle, as I like to call it. Yeah, big ugly shoes. Who would want those? You can imagine Dr. Frankenstein thinking, yeah, they might fit him.
The trouble is, they look slightly cheap, I think.
Like lace up Wellingtons there.
These are for a friend.
Do you have something in a slightly smaller size?
Yeah, Dr. Frankenstein thinking, maybe for safety I'll get an axe while I'm here.
You don't want to need it and not have it.
Excuse me, would it be possible to shorten the trousers by a couple of inches, perhaps?
Oh, man. So it went on. None of the staff remarked on
the
the
light show.
slides on the ceiling that were on there for, I would say, between 45 minutes and an hour.
Did it affect other diners? I mean, was it...
Was there a smattering of applause as each slide was changed?
No, nothing. One woman looked up at the ceiling as she walked through, but made
What
no
image
comment.
did she catch, I wonder?
I can't remember. I mean, it was lovely to see some Christmassy stuff up there so early.
It would have been fun if one of the waiters had looked up on the Halloween slides and gone, "Gah!" as though he was actually afraid of the ghosts. Oh, sorry, I just saw some pumpkins.
Genuinely terrifying.
I'd like it if next time someone booked a table and said, "Excuse me, what's happened to the slides? That's the reason we come here for our anniversary."
Festival of Lights.
Yeah.
I wish Lidl had included like one of their own sort of slides with the axe and maybe some panda cola.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I tell you what, I went fishing this week.
You went fishing?
Gone fishing.
Are you some sort of a Paul Whitehouse type?
Yeah, I didn't actually. I went and watched my son fish. Our Keith is a fanatical angler. Used to have a load of trophies. I don't know what happened to them. And he used to win a lot of big pieces of meat in contests.
Fish?
No, meat.
What was meat?
Surf and turf. It was that kind of.
Was meat given as the prize?
Yeah, that was the prize. It was generally, as I recall, it was mainly like you'd win a leg of lamb or something like that if you were, or sometimes electric blankets.
Sure, the two things you get from fishing.
Yeah. I like to think that it might be possible if you could crank it up enough to cook a leg of lamb wrapped in an electric blanket.
Surely, because you're supposed to slow cook lamb.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go, put it to bed.
Electric blanket is a slow cooker of sorts.
yes.
Yeah.
That's why old people are so soft.
In fact, you could probably sneak it up on an actual living lamb without it realising what's going on until it's too late.
And initially, it would be very grateful. The lamb said, "Finally, some service out here."
Anyway, so the idea was to teach my son to fish. So we got there. We were there for 5 hours.
What happens if you teach him to fish?
Yeah. Oh well, that's exactly. Then he doesn't need aid.
He'll finally stop asking you for individual fishes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then you feed him for a lifetime. Yeah. You couldn't really. Anyway, there was an incident which still lives with me. Was there for 5 hours, and I was the only one who didn't have a seat. Let's just put it that way. And we had blue takis.
Oh.
Blue takis is, we talked recently on the takis is the hottest snack of them all, and blue is supposed to be the hottest of the takis. For me...
I thought that was your funny little name for blue tack.
Oh, no. No, yeah, they're snacks
the Greek
made
version.
from blue tack. Which is great, because if you've got nowhere to put the bag, put it on a tree. No, so it was all. Yeah, I prefer the red, but let's not go into it. So Keith went off to the convenience, which I believe is called the countryside, and the countryside is a toilet.
Yes.
So
that's a good trailer.
yeah.
Apologies to any of our listeners outside Plunger.
Yeah. You'd have someone like Sir Michael Heseltine in Burberg Green Wellingtons walking through. The countryside is a toilet.
Saying it as if it's marvellous.
Yeah, exactly.
The countryside is a toilet.
But it is. When I go on walking holidays, I mean, the joy of just thinking of one away. I've had one.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I know, but I just don't want that ending up on brainyquote.com.
No.
As your legacy.
No, I'm all right with it.
Okay.
You see, most people associate the countryside with, bird song and rambling green fields. But I think of it certainly I associate it with abandoned vehicles. that's one of the stalwarts. Anyway, more I'll explain in a minute. But something happened which it's still in my bones.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've heard from one of our regulars, Simon of Sudbury. He has this to say. Hi, Frank, Emily and Pierre. As a non-fisherman, I always think fishing must be the most boring activity imaginable. But you've just topped it. Watching fishing.
Yes.
That's from Simon of Sudbury, SOS.
Yeah, it's not generally seen as a spectator sport, is it? Fishing. Anyway, what happened was Keith went off to the toilet, the countryside in brackets.
Yes.
And suddenly, the rod, the pole bent, and it was clear there was something big on there. And Boz was sort of pulled out of his seat, and I got up, and he was really fighting with this thing, and I was incredibly excited. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll reach out and grab the line. And I had no idea whether you were supposed to do that, but I watched Spencer Tracy in The Old Man and the Sea. And he wrestles a marlin for about 3 days. I remember it's just cut right through his hands, so there must have been some line holding. And then a guy ran over from the next peg and said, no, don't do that, just hold the pole upright. So I let go of the thing. And then Keith come back, and it was everybody was really excited. And then it got away. Oh. And the way it got away was when he took it out, the hook had straightened completely.
Wow.
The thing was so heavy to just straighten out the hook. And I'm still not over it. That was this week, and I'm still not over it.
Yeah.
It summoned up everything that got away in my life. I must admit, my first thought was Shane too. Which, in case you don't know, was the sitcom that I wrote, recorded, and edited, dubbed, and ITV have still, to this day, never broadcast.
How many episodes was it?
Yeah.
6, I think. It might have been 8. I don't know. It's been a long time.
So they full on did the whole end of Indiana Jones. It's being edited by top men.
Yeah, exactly. It was all done.
It's still there, Pierre.
Yeah.
Still there.
We'll never see it. It's like the Warren Commission.
It'll be on one of those missing, presumed wiped things that they have at the BFI.
So that must have been...
By the way, when I think of Shane 2 now, I visualise it with Roman numerals 2 rather than, I don't know, so long ago. But it made me I thought, imagine a photo of Buzz holding a massive great fish. That would have been a family treasure forever. And it got away.
Did they have any thoughts about what it might have been? What type of fish?
Yes, they said it was a carp, is what they said.
That would have been great, Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Straighten
close.
the hook.
Straighten the hook. Yeah, I mean, I believe the crocodile did that in Peter Pan. No.
I think I'm going to start using that as an expression in my life for the one that got away.
Yeah.
Straighten the hook.
It's straighten the hook.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is with it straightening the hook is that then it was definitely big, and it was really like pulling the rod from side to side and all. And I know people have the one that got away story, but oh man. Like I say, it's still nagging at me. We didn't even get to see it, It's a mysterious creature.
Oh, Frank.
Maybe we should have shone some New Year's Eve slides on the water, and it would have been mesmerised.
It would have come up going, what holiday is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I couldn't help thinking if Keith hadn't gone to the toilet that moment, maybe he could have rescued. I just got, it's gone.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. Text the show on 8 12 15. Follow us on X and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Frank, I'd like to share some reader correspondence with you.
Good.
Now, you have some gigs coming up.
I do.
I might even pop along myself, but, I don't tell Frank Pierre when I go along.
Undercover boss.
Yeah, little undercover boss.
Yeah.
Someone told me that they had met Tony Adams when he played for Arsenal. And he said, if ever you want a couple of tickets for the game, speak to... and he gave him a number. And he said, come to an Arsenal game. But don't tell me when you're coming. There's like 60,000 people in the stadium.
And he doesn't need to hear them laugh or cheer. He just needs to play for it.
I like the idea of Tony Adams being a sensitive artiste.
Ah, yes.
So...
Addo?
Richard has got in touch. Morning, Frank, Emily and Pierre. We have tickets to see Frank on Friday. Can't wait. Is this the Lyric
Frank
one?
on Friday. Yes, I'm at the Lyric Theatre, Shaftesbury Avenue, Monday to Sunday, inclusive.
Okay. On Thursday, I received an email from Nymax Theatres, presumably this is the theatre group which owns the
Yes.
Shaftesbury Avenue, saying this. I'm afraid...
I am trepidatious. Saying this, you know what? We saw the show in Halifax, don't bother.
This is from Nymax Theatres, re Frank Skinner. I apologise in advance for the substandard... No, it doesn't say that. It says, I am afraid, due to an issue with our booking system, the seats you have purchased for this performance do not exist in the auditorium.
What?
Kafka-esque.
How can that happen?
Yeah.
Richard continues.
I can tell you now, we haven't removed any to put in TV cameras.
But you say that. I know what your manager's like.
No, but honestly, no one wants to, no one cares enough. I'm like Homer now. I'm part of the oral tradition.
We're going to have to do our best to memorise it.
Exactly.
Because it's not...
It is like sculpting in ice.
The ancient mariner with his glittering eyes telling the tale.
Oh, yes.
OK, let's continue with Richard.
I fear thee, ancient mariner. I fear thy bony hand, is he?
Yeah.
You are as long and brown and rippled as the sand, or something like that. Anyway,
Someone once
carry
said
on.
that to me.
Did that? That's really very unkind.
I fear the ancient marina. It's unsafe.
Yeah.
You get splinters on
They've
the
done
boards.
nothing to it.
No.
Imagine if you were called Marina and that was your nickname. Oh, that'd be awful.
Oh,
The ancient
yeah.
Marina.
Oh, no.
Oh, you wouldn't do that. It's very cruel. Anyway, Richard continues. So he got this extraordinary email saying the seats didn't exist.
I wonder what's happened to the seats.
Well, Richard says, first time for everything. Thankfully, the theatre have given us 2 different seats and, wait for this...
Oh, there's plenty of seats. let's trumpet that to the public.
Thankfully, the theatre have given us some seats that do exist.
He continues, and complimentary drinks.
Oh.
So all good. The new seats...
How many complimentary drinks, I wonder?
The new seats are on the 2nd row. So now slightly worried.
Why?
Well, I think he just thinks maybe people fear that, don't they, being in the firing
Well,
line
some love it.
of the Skinner rapier wit.
Some love it. The complimentary drinks always makes me think there used to be a competition on the cricket in the days when the cricket didn't make me cry. And Mark Nicholas, the presenter, is quite posh, would say, you can win tickets to... and it was like a test match in Australia or something. And he'd say, you get 2 seats, great seats there, a hotel, lovely blah, blah, blah. And at the end it would say, and a complimentary glass of champagne. And I'd think, stick that part of it. You can stick that. Can I get some blackjacks instead to the value of?
Kilogram.
People always think, but you know what you get, which is special? A glass of champagne.
No.
Just pour it into the soil. That's what I say about it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've heard from Clive.
Oh,
Clive
yeah.
Silas. He says, Frank saying the fish pulled the rod from side to side. Sounds like you hooked the retired actor, the shark from Jaws.
Oh, well, we can all say now it's the one that got away and all that.
Yeah.
Were you tempted to indulge in any sort of black like a doll's eyes sort of style
I never
fisherman
saw
monologues?
it.
Oh.
I never actually saw it.
What?
It was, I only saw it.
Oh, the fish. I thought you meant Jaws.
Oh, I thought you meant Jaws.
Oh, no, I saw Jaws, obviously.
Why are you
Not
ruffling
a-
the paper like?
Because
they're all
I forgot. We had a series of calendars from our old friend Martin Cheek, who occasionally sends us his artwork.
Oh, the rude mechanical.
The rude mechanical Martin Cheek. He does sound like Bottom, and I can't remember the names of the others.
Peter, what's his face? You know.
They're all called
Peter
names
something.
like Peter Chair. And
You know, whatever people's names are.
They're not called things like Hippolyta.
so Martin Cheek, I forget what he played in Pyramus and Thisbe.
He was at the wall.
He was the wall as well.
Yeah.
So please find enclosed my latest effort. Please can you distribute? Too many pleases. Don't.
That'd be so rude.
No. Can you distribute this to Emily, Pierre and the team as thanks for all the pure... Oh, no, that was praise. I nearly read some praise there. Please don't... more praise. Warm wishes. I'll go on, I'll settle for that. And that was from Martin Cheek. And I'll tell you what, he's done these... Alice in Wonderland themed. I'm not sure I can distinguish between the Wonderland and the Looking Glass.
Yeah.
The difficult follow-up album.
I read Alice in Wonder. I've seen the house where the Looking Glass is.
Where is it?
Somewhere in Gloucestershire, I can't remember.
Is it nice? I bet it is.
Surely.
Had a bit of cash, didn't he, Lewis?
I thought it looked a bit sort of ragged and falling to pieces and very faded.
All right, TripAdvisor.
Oh, hold on, it's a mirror. Oh, no. Yes, I read, do you remember that programme, it was called I've Never Seen Star Wars?
Yes.
And it was about things you've never done that most people have done.
Yeah.
And one of the things I hadn't done was read Alice in Wonderland. So I read it.
It's quite ambitious to suggest most people have read it.
Oh, well,
Do you think?
How did you find it, Frank?
rubbish. I loved the illustrations were excellent.
Yeah.
But
Was it too...
people like it.
Too surreal.
Was he one of those? Was he one of those druggies, Lewis Carroll?
I don't know, but people like it in a sort of this would be a good thing. This would tell the world good things about me if I like this kind of a way.
Oh, I see.
It's so suspicious. of
We've all
people's
done it. I'm the
motives.
same with Takis.
Well, I am the same with Takis because I said to you off air, when I went into the store. Yes, I went
I
to
should
store.
say to, Emily bought me a bag. We plugged Takis on here. Everyone hates it except me, as far as I can tell. But we still continue. We're not on a retainer from Takis.
No.
I don't know. I mean, where is Takis based?
We don't know who they are.
Nobody
They've never paid
knows.
me a penny. I couldn't
Nobody
ID them
knows
in a
who they
police
are.
lineup.
We should say actually, and so we don't really plug stuff on here unless we love it. But we were sent some coffee recently
yeah.
called Rave Coffee. And Emily has done exactly that.
Oh.
She has raved
I'm obsessed
about it.
by rave coffee. You know, it's got me to. I've got a little cafetiere. I feel
Yeah.
very.
Are those the ones that go...
No, it's one of the ones you get in a hotel. No,
Oh, no,
The
those,
plunger one.
those are old men first thing in the morning in the street, in my experience, before then going... Anyway,
no, it's one of in the hotel, Frank, and they say your coffee, sir,
yes.
and they bring you the little plunger.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those. It's
Yeah.
very Parisian cafe culture.
The Little Plunger sounds like a child theatrical from a Charles Dickens novel.
And they all ate.
He
Even
dives.
little plunger.
The little plunger who dives into a tank of water to the delight of the ladies and gentlemen. That was The Clash with I Fought the Law.
Congratulations.
Yes, I'm playing that for...
All the criminals out there.
I can't remember her name. Mrs. Vardy.
Mrs. Vardy.
What's her name?
Rebecca,
Is it? Okay, lovely.
Mrs. Vardy to you.
it's...
Omar Vardy. I thought.
Goody Vardy. I saw Goody Vardy leaking stories to the press. You modern...
Who is this man? Just Corey, sir, the more contentious. I'm asked the question, I'm old enough to answer it. Man, he was Corey, sir.
How long until the Edinburgh Fringe sees some sort of horrible Wagatha Christie reimagining of The Crucible?
That would be fantastic. Can I be Judge Danforth again, as I was at school? Und?
Continuing with our reader correspondence, we've had a lovely missive from Christopher and Milana.
Okay.
Morning, Frank, Emily and Pierre. Long-time listener.
Milana sounds like she should be one of the Trumps.
Yes.
Milana Trump, I can hear.
Who is the... It's Melania. Melania? The real one?
Yes.
I don't know what her
Melania.
name is. Is it Melania? Okay. Is it the same name?
No, this is
Okay.
Milana,
I
M-I-L.
like Milana because it's got like a bit of Milan in it and very glamorous.
Oh, okay. Keep your hands to yourself.
Okay.
Long-time listener and admirer. You don't really hear that anymore, do you? Keep your hands to yourself.
No.
A little bit 70s and inappropriate in many ways, but an admirer of the podcast. Today is the first day listening to the show live, though.
Oh.
Hence the first time
I'm
writing into the
sorry.
show.
Not that it's polished in any way for the podcast.
Well, Christopher feels it adds an extra level of magic.
You know when you get when you buy salad and it's got like grit in it. So I never wash anything I'm going to eat.
Oh, no.
And it's got like grit in it. I think that's what the podcast is like. We could have rinsed it and made it ready to eat, but I couldn't be bothered. Let's just get it out.
You think it's gritty
Get
spinach?
it out there. Let's pretend it never happened.
Do you not wash any food?
No.
Why not?
I hate when you've got like fruit and you bring it back and it's like, then I wash it with one of our filthy tea towels. I might as well have left it the way it was.
That's true. You know, Americans
No, I
rinse.
don't think we've ever thrown a tea towel away in our house. We have got tea towels that look like something that the ancient mariner would have around his shoulders. Honestly, and they still get washed and go massive holes, raggedy ends, still washed, ironed.
You've got a Halloween tea towels.
At
That's
what
it.
point do you wash a tea towel? At 8, 12,
When
15?
they smell, they start to smell, I find.
Or maybe go in before then, Frank.
No, I think that's a good rule of thumb for a tea towel.
Why do they always get...
Stink. Anyway, when we got to the heart of the matter.
Okay, so Christopher... You go on about stink.
Christopher and Milana.
Exactly. But the reason I'm sharing this is because they're currently on their way to view a number of potential trial wedding venues.
Are they having a trial wedding?
Well, this is what I need to establish. But Milana has now
People
become
used to
a
have
fan of the show as a result of Christopher, so thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. Well,
Yes.
look, welcome to you all. And yeah, I like shabby chic in a wedding.
Do you?
Yeah, wedding reception area.
I tell you, your sister and brother-in-law, that was a good one. One of my favourites.
Oh yeah, that was a nice one.
Free flip-flops you got?
Free flip-flops.
Yeah.
Yeah, free flip-flops if you can. You have to say it to get them. Yeah, I don't know why there was free flip-flops.
No, but I tell you why.
It's muddy
because
out.
No, it's for the ladies. Because we get
'cause of the
tired of our
heels.
shoes after.
Oh,
And
yes.
your sister-in-law was very considerate and
I've
knew.
never understood that.
It was lovely.
I don't want to be like, I tell you what I don't understand about women. But honestly, women trying on shoes, they go, oh, Well, yes, I'll take those.
I know.
Yes. And, I've got plasters in my handbag. It'll be fine. Oh, my goodness. There you go. And they take so long to get ready.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've received some further correspondence, Pierre, haven't we?
Yeah. We've got Marek has emailed in during the week saying, long-time listener, first-time emailer, and known associate of Hopkins-John.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hopkins.
Lovely, the one.
Praise redacted. Continuing the theme of adverts and advertising, please find attached a picture of a local joiner's van. Lovely bit of passive-aggressive advertising on the side. So there is a picture of a joiner's van, and amongst all the standard sort of, timber, orangeries, garden rooms, windows and doors, and then there's a sort of motto in italics across the flank of the van that says, every time you don't specify timber, you're helping to destroy the planet.
Wow.
Oh, I love an aggressive...
It's a very catchy...
an aggressive slogan.
Why is that true? Does he mean you pick a specific kind of wood?
Yeah, but it's funny, isn't it? Because
Is
surely
it better to destroy the planet using timber then?
No, I think it's like specify the kind of timber.
Oh.
So if you don't say please use
Sandalwood.
yeah, more like pine that has been grown in a reusable way.
Oh, I see.
But that's odd, because surely can't you decide not to use rare macadamia wood because you're the joiner? Isn't it a bit like saying, if you don't tell me not to kill these dogs, you've got a lot of dog blood on your hands.
Yeah.
Well, don't do it then.
See, my dad was always building things, and I think he was on a constant search for timber.
Yeah.
He used to say, there's some timber in the skip down on Salop Road, so I'm going down there with the bike, and off he'd go and come. Pallets was very popular.
Oh, pallet. Well, that was how, of course, the late Hilary Devey made her fortune.
Yeah,
The industrial pallet.
Indeed. Yes.
What would he build from pallets?
I think she offered that kingdom for a horse, if I remember rightly.
You could build a sort of
Right.
birdhouse.
I understand what you're doing there, Frank.
A birdhouse.
You could build a sort of giant birdhouse if you had some pallets.
Yeah, you could. You could build a birdhouse in your soul. What's that song?
Yeah,
birdhouse in your soul. Yeah. So it's
They might be
that
giants.
is complex.
I think that's what it's saying. Every time you don't specify timber, you're helping to destroy the planet.
Wow.
Have a nice day.
I wouldn't know how to specify it. If I found about it, I need a new porch. And can you make sure it's
Pine.
larch?
Larch?
Done in larch.
Oh, monsieur.
Fancy.
Well,
But he's
Fancy.
saying, it's going to cost you, mate.
yeah. Well, Marek says, have you or fellow listeners got any more examples of such passive-aggressive advertising in the community? Regards, Marek.
He's set up a texting.
He's asked us to.
I think he's done it.
He's done it.
Well, I'll tell you what I find. It's actually not
coup.
passive-aggressive. It's full-blown aggressive. Is
I don't know if Hopkins should be bringing any more mates if they're going to be so controlling.
Frank, it's those notices that you get regarding dogs that I find a bit offensive. Are the
Well, I live here.
No.
This house has a spoiled corgi in it.
There's also a
Is that
picture
what
of
it says outside Buckingham Palace?
Yeah, it's been nailed to the gate.
Yeah.
amongst others. No, I don't like those notices that say a sort of friendly warning, in quotes, which is badly behaved dogs. I saw this once, will be asked to leave the premises.
Oh, yes.
No, it isn't will be asked to leave.
No, but they won't understand that.
No.
You get shops that say, well-behaved dogs welcome. I
Really?
mean,
Can of worms.
that's such a debate there. Well, we'll see. How do we judge this? What's your criteria?
Is the entrance to the shop a series of small obstacles?
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
And so, I don't like the silences. I can't handle it. Do you understand me?
What is it about the silence you don't like?
No.
Tell me.
So, there's another one.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
My shoulders are hurting
All
now.
right, calm down.
I clench
It's all
like a
right.
You'd hate a pinter play.
Yeah.
Mark gets in touch.
I don't know how to pinter per person. Carry on.
Well, yes. Well,
Oh, God.
we've got some correspondence about milk.
We
actually.
have.
Milk Week.
We have.
But regarding cooking a leg of lamb in an electric blanket,
Oh, yeah. What, you're telling me it can be done?
we've just got a message from a Dr. Frankenstein. Hi, Frank and crew. Love the show and so on.
Yeah.
That's all he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best wishes. Regarding the leg of lamb and the electric blanket, even stranger, there was an A-level physics exam last year where students had to work out how many times you would need to slap a turkey to cook it.
Oh, because the energy.
The transference of energy from the slap onto the horrible dimpled flesh of the turkey. I'm adding that description. Mark hasn't gotten so lyrical.
No, but I can see that.
Yeah.
I remember when Bars, my child, was about, I don't know, 18 months, maybe 2. We went to one of these farm shop, and there was a massive turkey, and they are the ugliest of creatures.
Yeah.
Are they?
And he went, he was fascinated by it, and he went, hello. and it went, he just burst into tears. Absolutely terrifying. The whole thing shook, all these terrible giblet things hanging off it. Oh, man.
That is the most disappointing animal encounter. Or avian, I should say. Is it avian, Pierre?
Yeah.
It's avian.
I don't know what it is. It's got so much going on.
But the idea of, you'd have to slap it all over unless you just cook one part. Could you just slap one part and the other parts would cook?
I suppose, but then one part would be overdone.
I'm
Be like
in
cooking it on a pan.
Frank.
Yeah. It'd be like when you microwave a jacket potato and the bottom is like a base that you can stand it on.
Like it's like a model
Yeah,
of a potato. I suppose, you'd have to have the turkey
Like
rotating.
my granny's, I told you this recently, my granny's Capi de Monte. Did I tell you this? Yeah.
I can't remember.
Capi de Monte was, if you were aware, it's a form of China. She had a figurine of a man on a bench.
Oh, yeah.
My gran. Did I tell you this? And he's sort of got holes in his clothes and a bottle of beer, and in the bottom it just says "Tramp." We didn't know. You see, we didn't know then.
I mean, you can't. Well, I always told you my dad had a much nicer phrase. Gentleman of the road.
Yes, lovely.
Lovely. You
Lovely.
should have used Gentleman of the Road, your granny.
I suppose, well, she didn't inscribe it.
She bought it, I'm just saying.
She bought it like that.
She bought it. She knew what she was doing.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. You can text the show on 81215. I wish I could say this so it rhymes Dean with 15 a bit more, obviously. Follow us on X and at Frank on the Radio, X and Instagram. Email via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. Professional to the last.
We were discussing Strictly briefly.
Yes.
Off air.
Off air, yeah.
And
Pierre hates it.
do you think he doesn't like it? It's our thing.
I think he hates us talking about it.
I think
Why?
it's bread and circuses, nothing more.
It is, yeah.
I know, but this...
It's actually bread and circus this week.
No, I'll tell you what it
A big
is.
loaf and a big clown all dancing.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what it is.
It's artisan.
Oh.
So there's not as much frippery as you suggest.
It's what they insist on referring to as Fright Fest, which I don't like, Fright Fest.
Fright Fest.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Halloween night, you see, when everyone has to do something
It's
monstrous.
the Americanization of our country.
When Dan
Suddenly
Walker was
Halloween
on,
is a thing.
Dan Walker's Christian beliefs means that he can't celebrate Halloween, so he was a
Right.
giant lobster. You wouldn't get that on a Lidl slide for the Halloween thing.
No, there've been no lobsters.
But it was very like Chariots of Fire when the guy wouldn't run on a Sunday. Do you remember
Eric.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Eric
going to say
Lidl.
Eric Lidl. Yes.
Eric Lidl. Hold on. There's something going on here.
There was
Eric Lidl, the supermarket heir.
you get a lot of that, especially in the States. Well, they'll say, "Oh well, instead of celebrating Halloween, I'm just going to dress up and go to a costume party." And you sort of think, "What do you think Halloween is?"
Yeah.
Because they think it's devil worship.
Where do you
is that the
stand on
idea?
it in the Catholic tradition?
Well, we are like the Goths. We talk a lot about death and know that we'll never be fashionable. And we're all right with the undead. It's part of our brand.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Maybe if I dug deeper. No, and Trick or Treat has got an element of heaven and hell about it. There you go.
Radio.
There's the end of the lesson.
You could have dressed as All Hallows Eve and just come as every saint.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been
Big costume.
That would have been an enormous costume. At least you'd be on wheels for St. Catherine.
yeah.
Frank, who's your favourite saint?
Oh, I like Boniface, the Anglo-Saxon saint, who went to Germany to spread the word, and then refused to defend himself in a battle and was slain.
Oh, I like the sound of film. Okay, I'm glad I know that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would like to...
We've all got a favourite.
Sure.
Yeah, I like Sebastian.
Oh,
Hobbs.
dear.
Hobbs.
Yes.
I would like to take us back to some correspondence that we received during the week from our readers, because they do get in touch, and we love
that.
this.
So we have an ongoing, it's almost like the seams between the separate programmes are filled in, as in a wall, by people saying, oh, that thing you said last week, blah, blah. I like it.
Yeah. So you may recall we were talking about, and this has been an ongoing...
Never assume a man of my age may recall anything.
No, you're absolutely right. Generic advertising... I'll inform you instead.
Yeah, I was talking about the fact when I was a kid, people would advertise not just things like Dairy Lee triangles, but they would advertise the abstract concept of cheese.
Yes.
So people would say there was an advert in which a man said, cheese, please, Louise. And it was for people who hadn't heard of cheese or ever thought of buying cheese generally. And there was a few of them. Milk.
Drink a pint of milk.
A pint per person per day.
Yeah.
Pint of milk a day.
And we discovered some others like pork.
Yes, and Ian Price in Cumbria has just prompted us saying, I don't know if it's been mentioned, but there was also the Slam in the Lamb series of adverts.
Yeah.
Neil in Edinburgh.
Slam in the Lamb.
Very led by rhyme.
Yes.
That decision.
And it was the idea of making it a slightly acceptably macho 70s activity for a dad to do. Slam in the Lamb, it's okay,
you
fellas.
can imagine
Don't slow cook it like you're seducing food.
Yes.
Like some
Silly
novel.
ladies.
Put down that electric blanket.
We're going to slam this lamb.
You
It's
can
okay,
imagine
guys.
the marketing guy at Spam thinking, why didn't I think of that?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Regarding the generic advertising of concepts such as cheese or beef, and your own love for poetry, Frank, this is a real intersection of interest, this email.
Okay.
It's from Hopkins.
Yeah.
And says, back in the 90s, a friend in A-level English wrote a meat-based poem entitled, Why Do Butchers Use Cheap Green AstroTurf?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the full body of work, but the opening line was, all the meats start in a standard 4-3-3 formation. Why, butcher man?
I like it.
It's nice, isn't it? I really like the sort of slightly beat poetry aspect of why
Yeah.
butcher man.
When it said all the meats, I thought it was going to be like that mamas and papas talking about the cooking process. All the meats are brown, all the meats are brown, and the plates are grey, and the plates are grey. I took out some pie, took out some pork. Anyway. She'd have loved that, Cass.
Yeah.
The whole
Mama.
mouth would have been watering.
Oh, don't. Oh, don't.
Poor Cass. What a voice.
Cass.
What a voice that dame has.
Production of Guys and Dolls. Neil in Edinburgh, Frank. And
I'm not going to do that with my arthritis.
Oh no, those cobbles.
Exactly.
Neil in Edinburgh, this is still on the theme of the generic food ad campaign.
Yeah.
Neil in Edinburgh gets in touch. Morning all, my all-time favourite generic food advert campaign was for Seafish, using the slogan, "You can't resist a kipper."
Okay. Seafish.
Adverts, yes.
I didn't even know it was a category, but I suppose it makes sense.
Oh, we're returning to Seafish.
Is it based on the old when I'm on a seafish diet? When I see fish, I eat it.
Don't worry, we're going to get back to Seafish.
Okay.
Adverts featured a slightly plump cat, rude,
Yeah.
wearing appropriate PPE, trying to break into a fridge using a blowtorch and dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have the ad in front of me. I'm holding it here. You can't resist a kipper.
All right, Neville Chamberlain. Speaking of plump, I saw
How dare you?
I saw. Yeah. Speaking of plump, Emily. Now, speaking of plump,
It's all right. I made the joke first.
I know exactly. I saw a. I could only make it because you obviously aren't. Not that it's a bad thing to be. That was a
fine.
close one.
The modern times.
Yeah.
It's hard. For
No,
us.
I saw a painting which I'd never seen before by a man called Michael Andrews, and it was a painting of a plump gentleman in a suit. And the painting's called A Man Who Suddenly Fell Over. And it's got this bloke, he's fallen over, and there's a woman, like, screaming next to him in absolute horror with her head in her hands.
That's great.
It is, it's worth Googling.
Do you think Michael Andrews gets a lot of people excited halfway through his name?
Yes.
They go, we've got a new painting here by Michael Andrews.
Yeah.
My name is Michael.
Yeah. Leonardo, yeah, he painted some good stuff as well. Oh, we laughed. Oh, no.
Oh, we've got as the Fez emerged.
The Fez has emerged, and so we will pause fractionately. Write that down, I like it. And then there'll be things, and then we'll be back. That's how the show works. Get over it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I need to share something you heard this morning.
Yeah.
Watching Australian. Have you ever seen Super Lego Masters Australia? I'll wait.
I've never seen Super Lego Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind the.
Never mind the development of the idea.
Never mind the Antipodean spin-off.
The franchise expansion.
Okay.
Well, I only caught, because I sometimes do this. Do you ever do this before you leave the house? We have an early start.
What about when Patrick Stewart told me that an American TV exec had said that they were gonna rest Star Trek because of franchise fatigue? I love that. I've got that.
Yeah.
I am franchise fatigue on legs.
I heard something, you know, when you only hear maybe 3 seconds or 7 seconds, perhaps, of a show, and you think, I'm in already. I've got to go, but I'll be back.
Yeah.
Because I only heard, this is what I heard, when I caught a bit of Australian, what is it called again? Super Lego
Lego
Masters.
Masters. Yeah,
Australia.
I heard a man shouting, "Put your hands in the air and lay down your bricks."
Okay.
I'm in. And to be fair, they did.
Okay.
How are they going to introduce?
Sounds like someone wanted to riot.
Yeah. So you'd shout down the length of a prison.
Yeah. But also, there's a chronology issue there, isn't there? You can't put your hands in the air and then lay down your brick.
Put your hands in the air and then open your fists and let the bricks
That'd be
cascade down your
terrible.
arms.
Oh, the sound of that.
Yeah. Anyway, I recommend it. I think we should all go in. Can I also...
Rowan, can I?
No, can I also share this with
making
you?
a cricket point.
From Tristan Harris. Hi, Frank and team. Tristan Harris is from the Birmingham area. Hi, Frank and team.
I love that.
With regard to flip-flops being given out, you may recall I was mentioning earlier that Rachel, your sister-in-law, had a lovely touch at her wedding.
Where people got free. Not just flip-flops, I think, but those sort of...
they were fabulous.
espadrille.
Yeah. And it was for us ladies with heels. So Tristan continues, with regard to flip-flops being given out, many voluntary street...
Unfortunately, they got them from Lidl. They were all size 14s.
I'm here. I'm in.
I love this wedding.
Just a job for Pierre.
You would have loved it, doing the Monster Mash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a satire. But anyway, carry on.
Many voluntary street pastors, I can never say that, Frank. Is it pastor? Pastor?
It's hard to say without being American.
I know, I want to say it in the right way.
I don't know what the word is.
Pastor.
Pastor.
Oh, a pastor as in a...
Is that the right way to say it? Yeah, pastor.
Like a preacher man.
A preacher man. Many voluntary street preacher men who patrol town and city centres on Friday and Saturday nights.
Manic street preachers?
Yes. In terms of their level of busyness, yeah, absolutely.
Also, give them out free to women wearing heels.
I've heard of that
As
before.
well as being more comfortable, it's to prevent them walking barefoot in areas where there could be broken glass.
Yeah, or Lego bricks.
Yeah.
Put your
We've
hands in the air and
established.
lay down those bricks.
If you ever stood on... I know it's a cliche, but if you do stand on a Lego brick, it feels like... Not only does it hurt, but it feels like your power cable has been removed and that you have nothing in you to fight back.
Do you think the street pastors originally were handing out flip-flops for the high-heeled women out of a sort of, here you are, Jezebel sort of angle?
Exactly.
Put these on, you harlot!
This will
And
help
long
you.
skirts they were handed out as well.
Bonnets.
Pashminas. So, this will be in our version of the Crucible. It could be set in Sheffield outside the Crucible Theatre on a wild Friday night. Absolutely perfect.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Tristan from Birmingham, he of the voluntary street pastors going around
yes.
perhaps judging women
Yes.
for their...
Well, I doubt
No,
if
we
I
don't
think they were trying to help.
We made light of that, but
I think they were worried about... You know, you used to get those pictures in the tabloids of working class young women lying in the gutter with their pants showing. I think any pastor would want to avoid that.
Yes,
if
but
it
some
could
of
be
us are
avoided.
looking at the stars.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
Yeah, I was just looking at the pants.
Oh, Frank.
No, I don't.
You are
don't care.
disgusting.
I don't care for those photos. I've said to you before, I do not like the tabloids having pictures like from Aintree suggesting, working class women can't do the races the way posh women at Ascot do it. Shut your faces. Okay.
Tristan...
A little bit of politics there, as Ben Elton used to say.
Why did Ben Elton have to tell us he was... Was it his way of apologising in case
I
people
think
didn't
it was
like
more
it?
of a wake-up call.
Oh, yeah. Tristan from Birmingham has, in addition to that, he points out they also give out lollipops as trials have shown them to prevent trouble in or outside pubs and clubs.
That's
People
so
are less
interesting.
likely to shout aggressively while sucking on a lollipop. What
Yeah.
say you, Frank Skinner?
I think they've put hemp in them or something to slow them down.
Do you think they're strung out, the people?
I was once at an away game. I think it was Oldham Athletic. I think they had an artificial pitch at the time. And the West Brom fans, our section, were kept in after the game, which was a common thing to do. Let the streets clear a bit before you let the away fans out. But they played I Tore a Puddy Cat and the Teddy Bear's Picnic. And I think it can only have been a psychological plan to make us feel jolly and childlike, so we didn't go out looking for violence.
They do that in tube stations and McDonald's sometimes. They
Do
play
they?
classical music
that
to
right?
dissuade the youths in some way, or to keep people calm. And it is quite surreal if you're not aware of that strategy and you're just trying to buy a burger from McDonald's and you hear Sibelius
It's a very good idea.
blaring.
Best place I once had Teddy Bear's Picnic played in a gay club.
Okay.
Which, if you know, you know. It was a lovely reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was once in a car, as in somebody driving me, and we were stuck in traffic on a major road in central London, and he suddenly switched the radio to Classic FM, and I said, oh, do you fancy a bit of classical music? He said, my doctor said if I get stressed I need to listen to classical music. But to be in heavy traffic, Classic FM, and he said no, and he stopped talking to me. He was just soaking it up. So
Frank, very quickly, Lorna of Langford. Is Buzz watching Strictly tonight? Nigel's dancing to Kiss. Just putting that out there.
what?
Yes.
Well, Buzz will be watching Strictly, but I don't know if in a way I don't want him to know that, because he'll be so utterly delighted that Kiss are
Well,
featured
Nigel's
on
my
there.
personal
I'm
favourite,
thinking
isn't it?
Crazy Nights is my guess. What do you think?
Pierre doesn't like Strictly.
I-
He's not going to get involved. He hates
But he
that we
knows
watch it.
Kiss.
I know Kiss. Ooh, I have to think on that.
Oh, I'd go for Heaven's on Fire. I love that riff, man.
Okay.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Mark in Fair Oak has
Yeah.
been in touch. I don't know where that is, but I like the sound of it.
Sounds nice.
That's some sort of golfing area.
Maybe he's just specifying his timber.
Yes, at last.
Because if you don't...
Yeah.
Destroying the planet.
Okay. Hi, Frank and crew. Oh, it makes us sound like astronauts. I love that. Love the show and so on. I heard you talking about cooking a leg of lamb using an electric blanket.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. I do apologise, Mark. Even stranger, there was an A-level physics exam last
dear.
year.
We read
We've
this.
read
didn't we?
this. Oh my goodness. 15 years and it's finally happened. Someone's read out the same one twice.
As I was reading it, I realised, oh, Frank,
I thought-
I'm really sorry. As I started reading, I thought, this sounds familiar. How strange, someone else has used the same wording.
Oh, that reminded me of when I saw
I don't know what to do.
I can't remember
I
his
don't know
name
what
now.
to
The
do.
guy who wrote Get Shorty and
Oh,
what's he
yes.
called? Elroy James or
yes,
something like that.
yes.
It's not that. But I saw him at the BFI, and they asked him he'd written some of the spaghetti westerns for Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, when they asked me, I said, spaghetti western doesn't make any sense. It's like Hawaiian pizza. And it got quite a laugh. And then later on in the question, somebody said, what was it like working with Clint Eastwood? He said, well, when they asked me spaghetti western, we all thought, no, it's that now. Like I thought then, I thought that's a coincidence. Sounds a bit like the beginning of the other one. And then he says, yeah, it's like Hawaiian pizza. Nothing. And he just looked around like, that use? You can see him thinking that usually goes very well.
They'd heard it 4 times. And now they've heard this email twice. I think it's the worst thing I've ever done.
No, I don't think it's
I
the worst.
honestly think it is. I think it's the worst thing I've ever done.
Well, I can think of 4 things, but I can't say any of them on air.
All those murders.
Oh, I'd really like to apologise to everyone.
No, it's fine.
It's not really fine. It's deeply unprofessional.
It was just a mistake, and we all make them.
Wait till you hear about the Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, that was terrible.
We might have some clarity on the timber thing from Clive Silas.
Okay.
He says, I'm sure he just means use wood.
Clarity from Clive.
Clive's
That could be
clarity.
a regular feature.
Clarity Clive would be who saw Goody Vardy doing something. It's a very sort of Quaker name.
yeah.
Clarity Clive.
Yeah.
Very Quaker.
Clive says, I'm sure that the joiner, the passive-aggressive joiner van means use wood, not plastic, in terms of specified timber. But again, we must ask Clive, why does that duty fall to us?
Yeah, but also use wood, not timber. It's a perfectly good slogan.
Not plastic.
I don't know, Frank.
Yeah, so
It's a
use
bit-
wood, not
So
plastic.
use wood, not plastic.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
Jeff Astle, the former West Bromwich Albion star centre forward, he sadly no longer with us, but he ran a window cleaning company, and it said on the side of his van, he was famous for headering the ball, which in the end turned out to be tragic, but he was brilliant at it. And on the side of the van, it said, the window cleaning, Jeff Astle Window Cleaning Company, he never misses the corners.
Oh, come on,
that's
that's
very
good.
good.
Excellent.
I like that.
Excellent
That
work.
is very nice.
I like it.
Oh, and so we come to the end of another show.
Yeah.
Wistful, The Guardian. And, you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.